So for contour drawing, you can really use any medium that you would like to try out or that you're already comfortable using. I'm using a marker and I'll be using some pastels too. These are chalk pastels, so they blend pretty easily and pretty smoothly. And that is something that you might take into consideration when you're choosing what medium you want to use to create your contour drawing, because with these kinds of exercises, we usually try to use one continuous line, meaning that we don't pick up the pen or pencil or marker or whatever it is that you're using from the paper while you're drawing your subject. And in addition to that, another element of contour drawing that a lot of people like to use and that we'll be trying out today is just looking at your subject and not looking at the paper while you're drawing your subject. So for example, I'm going to start out by drawing this pair of glasses, right? I'm going to put them off to the side so that I don't look at my paper while I'm drawing them. And I'm just going to start off by I'm just looking at the pair of glasses and I am drawing the outline of them on this paper. And the point of contour drawing is, you can probably see by now, I'm not sure how this is coming out, but it's not to get your subject completely perfectly rendered onto your page. It's more so about capturing the contours of it, right? So the outline, and getting to know kind of what lines make up the subject that you're drawing, whether it's an object or a person or a plant or an animal. This looks pretty abstract. It doesn't look exactly like the glasses, but it helps us to learn how to draw from observation, right? So we're really engaging with the subject that we're drawing rather than kind of making up this picture in our head, right? We're not drawing off of what we know to be like a pair of glasses, right? We're not drawing off of our perception of what a pair of glasses should look like. We're really just trying to capture what we're looking at in the moment. So next I'm going to draw a person. So drawing people can actually be pretty fun because their faces usually don't look like their faces do in real life. But again, it's really good practice. And I think this exercise also really helps you to sort of loosen up and to let go of the idea that art has to be perfect or has to look a certain way. It can be really fun to create something more abstract and still kind of have the essence of the object or the person or the subject that you're trying to capture. So I have two pictures of my sister by me. I'll be starting off with one, and I'm going to start off with her face. You can start off anywhere you want when you're drawing a person. Really, there's no specific rules other than just try not to pick up your marker or pencil or whatever it is that you're using to draw, and then just try not to look at the papers. She's wearing glasses, so I'm drawing her glasses, drawing her eye, just looking off to the side. Her other eye, eyebrow, and again I'm connecting every feature of her face. And then she has really big curly hair, so I'm drawing her hair. And you can go however fast or however slow you want to go with this exercise. They're usually pretty easy to finish in a short amount of time because you are kind of just going off of the outline and off of shapes rather than sort of paying attention to fine detail and to shading and tones and things like that. So her arms. But you can also spend a little more time with it and kind of go over parts that you think you've already rendered, right? Because that can also make for an interesting composition. She has some flowers on her shirt, some tiny little leaves, another flower, some leaves. arm down. So this is what came out. Obviously, my sister does not look like this, but like I said, these are never going to turn out just like the person actually looks in real life, but it can be a cool thing to sort of try out anyway. So I'm going to move on to the second picture of her. And with this one, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to switch up the colors that I'm using. So I'll be drawing the same picture of her 2 times, and they're going to be overlapping. So I'm going to start off with a picture that I have as a reference. This can be a cool activity to do when the person is actually sitting in front of you. So her hair is pulled back, but she has some kind of flyaways in this picture. And then I'm going to draw her eyebrow. I'm going to go down to her nose, nostril, other nostril, her glasses. And again, I'm not looking at the paper, and I'm using one line, and then I'm going to go back down to her face, draw her lips, wearing a sweatshirt in this picture. So that's what I came out with, right? And again, these kind of look funny, but that's the whole point, right? It's to sort of create something abstract and different. And I'm going to go ahead and use the same reference picture of her, but I'm going to use a different colored marker, and I'm going to draw it again on top, or just anywhere on the paper, right? It's okay if it overlaps. And I'm going to start off with the hair. Just hair in her face here. I'll draw her face shape. And I'm not sure if it's overlapping with the other one, but it's okay if it does. This is the reason that I like to use a different color, because if they overlap, you can kind of distinguish the 2 different times that you drew the same object. Drawing her eye, her other eye. Can't remember if I drew her nose or not, so I'm going to draw it again. And then I'm going to draw her lips. And then her neck. And she's wearing that sweatshirt. I'll draw that in. And there it is. This one's in a lighter color, and I also overlapped quite a bit over the other one. But you can see kind of how that creates sort of an interesting composition as well when they do overlap. And then something that you can also do is you can add color then to some of the drawings that you've done. So if we take, for example, the pair of glasses that I drew, I can go ahead and use my soft pastels or use a colored pencil or any other kind of medium that I want to use and sort of block in areas right with my color. And this is just random. You can choose wherever you want to do it. Or if you don't want to add color, you don't have to either. I'm going to take my green now and put some green in there. And then I'm going to take an orange. Maybe I'll do it all over one of the sides of the glass here. And then this kind of creates sort of like a stained glass effect, or just kind of an interesting way to add color to your drawing. And again, this really isn't to make it look more real or more realistic or more naturalistic. It's really just to kind of add a little more like interest to your drawing, right? So there I've colored in my glasses. And then I can do the same thing with the drawings of my sister that I did. So if I wanted to, I could add some blue here on, I think this was her nose. I'm gonna shade it in a little bit. And then maybe down here where her sweatshirt was. Block that in. And then I'm not even sure what part of her face this was, but I'm gonna block that in too. I'm gonna add my green to her eye over here. This was the second drawing that I did. And then green to the other eye. And then maybe green here. Maybe just some parts of her hair. I'll add some blue to her eyes on the first drawing. And then maybe some orange to the lips that I did on the second drawing. And the cool thing about pastels is that you can blend them in, so you do get to keep that sort of transparency. I'm gonna block in her eyebrows on the second drawing that I did. And you can still kind of see the lines that I did when I drew it in marker. So maybe I'll add some more blue here to her lips. And there it is. There's your abstract portrait. And yeah, I would encourage you to try out different mediums and different colors. And again, not to get too focused on trying to capture something completely realistically, because this exercise is just a great way to sort of warm up and to get used to really paying attention to the outline and the shape of your subject.